warships have made their debut, completing the air, land, and sea battle formula. Choose the iconic vehicles or the unusual ones. They all have a role to play.
Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today in War Thunder we're having a look at the birthday discounts and gifts that Gaijin are doing. So first of all, War Thunder has hit its 6-year anniversary. For me it's been a wonderful time. I got into War Thunder just after the alpha finished and when the beta started, and I've had a hell of a lot of fun. I must say, it's a game that fits what I kind of like, you know, this idea of playing a lot of World War II vehicles. Now we have a bunch of different armed forces in the game. There's always something different to do, and even though, you know, we may bitch and we may be annoyed at certain little things, overall we can all agree that this game is a wonderful achievement, and it's lovely to see it hit the 6-year point. Anyway, before we get into the discounts and gifts, I do want to mention something. New authentic decals starting from the 26th. Now, something to mention is a lot of people ask me, you know, how do you grind? Or what do you do to grind? How do you not get sick of the game? And the way I do it is through small challenges. So instead of worrying about, you know, what vehicle I'm researching, or maybe if a modification has a lot of research to it, instead I focus on something like this. And what it means is that you can focus on stuff that will give you material, well, not material, but will give you visual goals to actually see in completing the challenges. So instead of being in a situation where you are just staring at a number over and over again, if you're researching a new vehicle, instead you are looking at a decal and you can see its progression and how close it is. On top of this, there's also the Warbond stuff to help you grind, you know, doing those daily challenges and doing these daily challenges as well. So these are the decals for the week's latest. If you have never done the weekly decals before, each decal has its own little challenge to it, and if you complete the challenge, then you are able to get the decal. So in order to get this emblem of the 3rd Anti-Tank Battalion, USMC, you have to destroy 100 enemy players whilst using US ground vehicles. So what you can do is, let's say you want to get that new T-32E1, you can, you know, line up a lineup of, let's say, the T-32, M46, T-95, and go to town. Just go and have some fun. Make sure that the T-32E1 is researched, and just go and destroy stuff. Because you know, at the end, you are going to be able to research that T-32E1 while you're doing the authentic decal stuff and getting this nice little decal on top of also doing the Warbond stuff, which you should be paying attention to at the same time. So the easiest way to complete a large project is by cutting it down into smaller pieces. It's exactly the same when we look at grinding and War Thunder, and it's exactly the same when we look at the majority of stuff in our life. Breaking things down and solving it piece by piece. Anyway, that is just something, you know, to think about. On top of this, I just wanted to point out this decal. This is magical. I don't know who drew it, or I don't know why this was an emblem for the 4JG26 Squadron of the Luftwaffe, but oh my god. And once again, you just have a little thing here, gain 3 victories whilst taking the first place in the team and flying German aircraft. You don't have to do it in a fighter. If you don't want to, you can maybe do it in an attacker or a bomber. You know, get the score and let the team try and carry you, or maybe you carry the team because you're able to bomb specific things. There is many ways of approaching all of these. Some of them are easier than others, such as capture 15 zones using German vessels. So they've actually added in fleet decals now on top of everything. So if you want to get into the fleet, this is the way to do it. And also they normally do a really nice decal for 200 GE. This time it is the Royal Wessex Yeomanry Regiment, which you can get for 200 GE. So if you don't want to buy, I think that was my cat. if you don't want to buy, these, this decal, you can still grind out 6 of these. It's a great opportunity. Right, let's get into the War Thunder birthday sales and what they are. So, from the 26th of October to the 1st of November, you got a 50% discount for all modifications, backup vehicles, and talismans for all types of vehicles except the fleet. Now, remember that the fleet just came out in update 1.83, so this isn't really a surprise. But it does mean that anything that you research over the next few days, 50% off the cost of them, which is really nice. Also, talismans, if you want a talisman on a certain vehicle. Now, the main one for me is the 50% discount for premium accounts on 90 and 365 days. Now, if you're a person who plays a lot of War Thunder, this is the thing you should be looking to pick up. Remember, a premium account, if you don't know what it is, if we go up here, it gives you a plus 100% research in all game modes, plus 50% lions for active actions in random battles, plus 100% reward for battle time in random battles, and plus 50% reward in other game modes. And also, it means that you can play some more dynamic campaign with some squad members, and you also get 4 decal slots, and the creation of squads consisting of more than 2 players. So overall, you have this system of a premium account. Now, whether you agree or disagree with the system itself, the system exists. If you are a person who plays a lot of War Thunder and enjoys War Thunder a lot and thinks that they're going to play it for the next year, getting the 365-day premium account is easily the best thing that you can do for yourself when it comes to researching vehicles. Remember, a premium account does not discriminate. It isn't like a premium tank or a premium aircraft or a ship, where if you get it for the Soviets, let's say, then that plane, let's say, can only research 1 tier above it and everything below it in that tree, and that's it. If you get a premium account, it's for everything. It's for absolutely everything in the game. It's a much better pickup than anything else you will see here, as long as you are a person who plays a lot of the game. And, well, not a lot of the game, who will at least know that they are going to be playing it in a year's time. And that's, that is the conundrum that you have to work out for yourself. But out of all the deals, this one is easily the best. You save 89%, 7,450 GE. This equates to around about, let's say, $35. So by equating it to $35, that's 3 McDonald's meals, or if you want to see it in another way, it's about 500 bundle games, or it is half the price of a AAA game. And that's for a year of enjoyment in War Thunder. Just think about that. A year of making everything half as easy as it was before. Now, moving on, we also have some other stuff. So 50% discount for all ground vehicle and aircrafts of any nations. And then we have some time periods for that. So for the USA and Soviets, so the 26th of October till the 28th, and then the Germans and British 28th of October till the 30th, and then Japan, France, and Italy is the 30th till the 1st. So what is this talking about? Well, if you go to America, which is what's happening today, you can see there's a 50% discount on all the vehicles that you can purchase on a premium side, on the army side, and also the aviation side. So if there's a specific plane or a specific tank that you've wanted for a while, but you don't really or can't really justify the price in your head, such as the T-114, now it's half price. So this makes the decision easier. It also means that you can maybe pick up some interesting low-tier vehicles that you may not have before, such as, something like a T-126. It's a very fun little vehicle, got a good 45mm on it, very quick, very nippy, very similar to the T-50. But it's a 275G right now. So if we put that into context, it's about $2. Is the way to see it. Same with like the Su-57. So don't just think about buying, or getting the higher tier grinders, especially when you look at this offering from the Soviets, which isn't great. But instead look at it from, will I have fun with some of these vehicles? And that's the way I'm seeing it with these. But there is some decent grinders out there if you want to get them in specific trees. Just make sure that if you're going to buy them, you get them on the correct day. And the way to check is obviously up here it says 50%, whereas for the German one, which isn't today, it doesn't say 50%. So that's the easiest way to work out if it's on offer or not. Just please make sure that it is on offer. The next point, gifts for all players, the YA5M. Now, we covered this ship or boat a few days ago. The YA5M is the upgraded version of the YA5. We don't actually have the YA5 in game yet, but it's basically a gunboat with a few dishkas on it and some rockets on the front of it. So a little bit of fun. Now, this isn't available yet. It actually starts on the 1st of November. So you can't get it today, so if you don't see the achievements for it yet, don't be worried, but just understand that this is coming in the next few days. And all you have to do to unlock this machine, this Soviet machine, is win 5 naval battles with an activity of 50% or higher, and you get this. Last year, they did a similar thing for the M8 Greyhound and the I-29. If you want to have a look at either of these machines, I'll just show you here. So this is the I-29. It's a twin-engine heavy fighter, came out, absolutely busted machine, still a busted machine, but it's a little bit better. And what I mean by busted is I will never fly it again. There are specific vehicles I will never touch again just because of how ridiculous they were at some point in history. And then the other one was, of course, the M8 Greyhound, which caused a little bit of controversy because people didn't want it as a premium vehicle. They thought it should be a major tech tree vehicle. But yeah, overall, those were the 2 vehicles they gave away last year. Now they're giving away a motor gun boat with some rockets on the front. Shouldn't be that effective, to be quite honest, because it doesn't have a ton of firepower, but the dishkas overall in ships seem to be doing really well. And the main thing to focus on is the fact that you have the rockets, which should make it at least a little bit fun. It's not supposed to be the best vehicle out there. It's supposed to be a bit of fun, and that's exactly what it is. Now, returning premium vehicles. We went over these yesterday. There is a few that are returning. The BE-6, the Grand Mark 1, Sherman Firefly 1C Scorpion, MX-13 SS-11, Type 97 Chiha, Panzer 478, and the HS-129B2 Romanian. Now, a lot of people pointed out that I got the Panzer 470 wrong, and they're completely right. The Panzer 470 I actually had shown was an older version of the Tech Tree one. And what this is the actual premium one that you are getting. If you go to the German side of things, the way that you can actually work out that these vehicles are the returning premiums, they have this little banner on them, and they also call themselves a new vehicle, even though they're not a new vehicle. But this is the Panzer 470A, the one which I got wrong yesterday. So this is what it looks like. Obviously the chassis is slightly different, and the superstructure is slightly different, and it's, let's just say, quite easy to pen, especially if you get up tiered. In a down tier, shouldn't be too bad, but it's quite a large machine, and at the same BR, or at least a similar BR, the Jagdpanzer 4 and the 470 do pretty much the same thing, just with less of height on them, which means that you can actually hide. The next one is the Sherman Firefly, and what is interesting about this one is a few people pointed out some very slight differences, and the reason why I didn't bring up the differences and said it's basically the same is because it is basically the same. The only real difference is that it has a few separate armored plates that you can see here at 25mm, and this actually slows the machine down by about I believe 3 kilometers an hour or something like that. It's also got a slightly different part here, showing that it is a different chassis, a very, very slight difference. And what I'll show you is the Firefly in the tree. And you see how this area here is different, and this area here is slightly different. So the chassis that is used for the Firefly Scorpion is a different Sherman chassis. It's as simple as that. It is still very, very similar to it. The only difference really being this area here, and then you have the extra plates. So the Firefly Scorpion is a slightly different vehicle, but in pragmatic terms, it is not. This extra armor hardly does anything. On top of this, the only thing that you're really looking at is you're losing 3 kilometers an hour of a top speed. And overall, I don't think that is different enough to really comment on. And it seems like Gaijin believe the same thing, since the battle rating is exactly the same for both vehicles. So there you go. There's the Firefly Scorpion, 4000G. I'm still debating on whether this is worth to get. 4000G is quite steep for this machine. It's basically the price of a 50% off rank 4 vehicle. So yeah. Then you have the Chiha shotgun. I have picked this up straight away because I want to do reviews on it. Here it is. This is the Japanese machine that if you didn't buy when it was bundled to get access to the Japanese tech tree, now it is back and you are able to pick it up. So it's got 31mm of penetration on the HE, 1.7 BR. Should be a bit of fun as long as it overmatches. And then you have the duck, which is just the German duck in the Italian tree. And you can see it here. It's actually cheaper than the Spitfire, so now there is actually a reason to use it, being 100G cheaper. But the thing is, I believe the Spitfire it may actually go down by 50%. I'm not exactly sure when it was released. I'm pretty sure it was released pretty soon. It was released... It must have been released pretty close to now. I'm not exactly sure though. But anyway, yeah. The HS-129B2 is now in the Italian tree. It's the Romanian Air Force one, exactly the same as the German one. And the only reason to pick it up is if you want to run it with your single Leoncello. But I would personally wait for the Italian ground tree to come out. I still don't think the HS-129 is good. I know a lot of people... the way I see it is a lot of people see it as a cult classic in War Thunder, just because sometimes you get cool kills with it, sometimes you do really well with the MK103, but the majority of the time you're not, and that is the problem that I have with it. The BE6, as a few people also pointed out, that the BE6 has a 23mm on the nose, which it does, and for some reason all of the pictures of the model, when it came to showing it in, the War Thunder website, none of them had the 23 in the nose, which was very odd. So now it has the 23 in the nose. It also has two sets of 23s. It's very well defensively armed, but it is incredibly slow, and there are areas where you can attack it where you don't get shot from. On top of everything like this, it's very rarely gets to the base unless people are not hunting it and don't think about it. And yes, I suppose we are in a situation where people won't think about it because it's never really been used to, massive effect. But overall, it is not that good, especially compared to other options. Just look at it this way, right? This thing's a 5.0, around about 4000 GE. You can buy the JU288C at 5.3, and it is infinitely better, and I will show you why in an upcoming review. The last two machines, the AMX-13 and the Grant, you both know these machines and my opinions on them. The Grant is fun. It's never going to be the meta though, just because it's too big and easily penned. And the AMX-13, I really like it as a scout. Now, a lot of people don't like it because of the gun, because of the bounciness of it, but as I said yesterday, if you play it as a pure scout, and then after maybe 10 minutes, go and fight in the battle, get around and start doing a lot of damage, it's really, really good. But the issue is, a lot of people don't like the AMX-13s because they either feel like they don't have enough power, or they don't like the fact that they can't match up mano-a-mano against heavies and mediums. Even though the SS-11 has machinery in order to match up well against them, with the fact that it has the SS-11s, people just don't like it, and that's fine. I understand that my opinion is not shared by the majority of the community. The store discounts, so on Xbox and PlayStation, you guys get 50% discounts on your bundles. That is insane, especially when you think about the Xbox bundles that should still be available for Xbox. I mean, there's some really good bundles out there. And then the last but not least, we have an E100 and HE162A1 for tournament winners. Now, if you don't know, there is a tournament hub for War Thunder. It's called tss.warthunder.com. You can go to it, and then you can log in, look at tournaments, and it gives you the list of the tournaments which are happening on specific days. So these are all the tournaments, the November the 4th tournaments. These are all the solo tournaments that are happening on November the 4th. You can even click more, and it should show you more if there are more. As you can see, November the 5th tournaments. And then you have, October tournaments. There's a ton of tournaments that, happens in War Thunder all the time. And all of these, if you don't have, a team, or if you don't have, players to play with, a lot of them are 1v1s. So you can see that this one is a solo tank tournament. You can get yourself the E100, 1950 GE, some decals, and a title as well. Overall, look, 360 teams. So out of 360 people, you have to come first, and you get yourself an E100. Every tournament, you can either get yourself an E100 or a HE162. And you don't just get an E100 or HE162, you get a coupon for one of these things. And what that means is if you don't want to keep it, you can sell it. So if you have a 162 or an E100 already, you can get a coupon and get a bunch of Gaijin coins and be able to use that for future stuff, or just get yourself some packs, some bundles and things like this. Overall, it's nice to see that they bring back the E100 and the HE162. If you haven't participated in tournaments before, don't be afraid. Just get into it and just have a bit of fun. That's it. If you don't win, so what? How long have you wasted? Maybe a couple of hours? Who cares? It's fine. You're doing it on the weekend. You have some free time anyway. All you're going to do is play War Thunder anyway. Why not test your skill? Why not have a bit of fun? Why not try and get yourself some GE and stuff like that? People submit clips to Thunder Show all the time. Why not just do a few tournaments? There's an absolute ton of them. Absolute ton of them. It's crazy. Or for all different times as well, which works great. So you have some for the NA guys, some for the EU guys, it all works. But yeah, that is pretty much what's happening for the War Thunder birthday celebrations. Overall, it is lovely to see some discounts, and the main thing, as I've said before, make sure to check that premium time, which I think is easily the best thing on here. And don't forget about the decals and also the YA5M, which will be coming in the next few days. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.